4 News now at 6. Math scores are slowly starting to improve at the University of Idaho after years of students failing to make the grade because of the pandemic. The changes professors made to help them catch up, plus how to help your child prepare for college.
The weekend is here and so is the snow. I'll show you if you need to get your shovels ready in the First Alert forecast.
And remembering Reverend Happy Watkins, a civil rights leader and beloved staple of the Spokane community. Hear from those who knew him best as they honor his life and the legacy he leaves behind. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. Well, many parents are concerned the year their children spent learning at home during the pandemic is still hurting them in school. Good evening, I'm Derek Dice.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. So this learning loss or achievement gap is noticeable when you look at the grades from students at the University of Idaho. Let's show them to you here. These are the percentages of students who received a D or lower in their introductory math classes. You can see that half of the students were failing this course in 2021. And it didn't improve much in the following years, but this year the university is taking a new approach. And Mary Sheridan is live in studio tonight to tell us more about it. So Mary, what changes are these professors making to help students succeed?
Right, so the professor that I spoke with today told me that his ultimate goal was to streamline the content for his students. The pandemic was a chance to reevaluate why we teach, what we teach, and for teachers to check in with their students' needs.
This semester is really the first semester that we are implementing brand new curricula, brand new instruction, brand new tools for our students to use. And so far, we're seeing very positive results.
Tim Baster began teaching introductory level math courses at the University of Idaho last year. Since the pandemic, more and more students were failing these courses. This year, Baster and his new team decided to start from scratch. He told me the key was making sure the kids knew why they were learning, what they were learning.
It takes some time for the students to adapt to that if they've never been asked to explain their thinking before or talk to their neighbor about why their solution makes sense to them.
Baster says this new formula is already adding up.
We think that we are on track so that 50% or so more students will pass these courses than have in recent years, which is a tremendous improvement.
Students' learning loss from the pandemic is a real concern, not just for teachers, but for parents. Jerry Post at the Tutoring Center Mathnasium says it's changed the way they're teaching kids.
So it's really breaking down those gaps and identifying them and then giving them curriculum that will help them build them one step at a time.
And Baster says the University of Idaho agrees that it's these open conversations that are starting to show students scoring in the right direction. Already last year, he saw improvements in grades, and he's hopeful the trend will continue once final grades come out at the end of the semester. In studio tonight, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
All right, Mary, thank you for that. Well, many of you have been wondering when we could see the first snowfall of the season here in the valleys. Well, the wait is almost over because our team of weather experts are tracking another storm on the way.
Now the big question is, when will it arrive and will it impact your weekend plans, right? We'll send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to find out.
And that answer is going to vary quite a bit across the region. Right now on our Doppler radar, I am tracking a line of showers moving across Lincoln and Spokane County into Whitman County this evening. Just a little bit of light rain you might encounter, but it will not be around for long. Our forecast radar starting off at 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to be dry for almost 24 hours in Spokane. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start to see that wet weather crossing the Columbia Basin. This is 7 o'clock Saturday with an initial start of the precipitation as a rain-snow mix or rain, snow in the Northeast Mountains and rain through the Columbia Basin, but it will not take long for things to turn over almost entirely to snow. Here's 9 o'clock on Saturday. We'll see that snow continuing through the evening, but by around 2 a.m., we're going to start to transition back to rain, and boy, that rain is going to stick around right through Sunday morning into the the afternoon and most of the day on Sunday before we start to dry off. So most likely any snow that you receive will melt by Sunday afternoon. These are the odds for at least 1 inch of snow Saturday night through Monday. Only 10% in Spokane. That goes up to 95% in places like Sandpoint and Newport. Only 15% in Pullman. Your Saturday planner, mostly dry, and then that snow comes in the afternoon, a high of 39 degrees. I am going to go through the microclimates of the inland Northwest and take a much closer look at how much snow you can expect right in your neighborhood in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. A teenager from Garfield is now facing charges for making bomb threats and other hoax calls across the nation. Back in June, investigators say the 15-year-old called 911 and reported he was holding a child hostage at St. Joseph Regional Medical Center in Lewiston, causing police to put the hospital on lockdown. Lewiston police later determined that call was a hoax. Police say the same number called their department 6 times during a 3-day period, including to report they'd placed bombs around the police station. The teen is also accused of making or being an accomplice to threats made in 9 other states, including Washington and as far away as New York.
And in Grant County, investigators in Ephrata are trying to find the person behind threats made online toward multiple schools in the area. Those threats forcing the district to cancel school today. Investigators say the threats were made last night, a few days after another threat was made online toward Ephrata High School and multiple students. That threat is said to have stemmed from a fight between 2 students earlier in the week. One juvenile was taken into custody for those earlier threats and was released at this point. Ephrata police say that suspect is not connected to the threats made last night. This is still developing. We will update you as soon as we learn more details.
Well, the lawyers for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students want to know if the police lied or misled a judge to get a search warrant. Brian Kohberger's lawyers are requesting a hearing to see if his 4th Amendment rights were violated. That's the one that protects you from unlawful search and seizure. According to court documents, investigators found a knife sheath in the home where Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were killed. DNA found on that sheath was used through a genetic genealogy website to identify Kohberger as a possible suspect.
And police used that information to link him to the murderers, coupled with the fact Kohberger had a white vehicle similar to the one captured on video at the scene of the crime. But it's the genetic genealogy that has defense attorneys wanting the judge to throw out much of this evidence. They also want any evidence collected from search warrants obtained based on the genetic genealogy. That includes everything found in Kohberger's apartment and at his parents' house. As of now, no date is set for when arguments will be heard.
Well, 5 organizations in Spokane received funding from the city for their youth sports programs. The city council voted yesterday to give $50,000 each to, if you could save just one, the Spokane Eastside Reunion Association, the 90 Plus Project, YMCA of the Inland Northwest, and Union Football.
It's all from leftover COVID relief money. Madeline Mullins spoke with some of these organizations today about what this money means to them and what they plan to do with it.
Scoring the winning goal and hitting a home run, these are memories that last for a kid.
There's a lot of connections that come from sports and drive, a lot of friendships from their teammates, and helps set a good foundation for kids in our community.
But not every kid gets a chance to make these memories. 5 organizations with the help of funding from the city are trying to change that. The YMCA is one of them.
So it'll support our recreational sports leagues, clinics that we offer in our branches, as well as our programs like our Player to Player, where we provide scholarships to neighborhoods in need.
Union Football is another organization that received funding from the city.
But that's just a really important developmental time in their soccer skill set, as well as their emotional development. And we try to make sure that we're fostering positive growth in both of those areas.
Union Football is a free soccer club. They will put the money towards equipment for their players.
So a lot of the funding is going to go towards things like equipment. Part of what we try to do to help our players is not just cover things like registration fees for the league, but we also cover their uniforms, both game uniforms and practice uniforms.
Both the YMCA and Union Football agree that playing a sport as a kid is a pivotal moment in their development. This funding will allow them to help more kids play a sport.
Again, look to level that playing field where the opportunity to scholarship kids who might not be able to have access to those programs now do.
Leveling the playing field is what these 5 organizations who receive funding from the city want to do so that every kid has a chance to get on a playing field like these. In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Madeline, thank you. Well, the Climate Commitment Act remains in play tonight in Washington. State voters kept the law in place, and it requires cities to include a climate element in their comprehensive plan. Here in Spokane, the first steps are underway for that climate and resiliency planning. Community members gave early feedback about which climate impacts they are most concerned about, and we have the results here. 49% voted for wildfires and smoke, 24% voted for water quality and snowpack, 21% voted for increased heat and drought, and 6% voted for heavy rains and flooding. The City of Spokane Climate Planning Team is still looking for feedback. You can find out how to make your voice heard by heading to our website, kxly.com.
Well, hundreds gathered today to honor Reverend Percy Happy Watkins. He's been a pillar of the Spokane community for decades at New Hope Baptist Church and in many leadership roles.
A deacon friend of ours said that he's reciting the I Have a Dream speech to Martin Luther King better than Martin Luther King did it himself.
Many leaders from around Spokane, including Mayor Lisa Brown, spoke at the service. You can hear more about Reverend Watkins and how he's being remembered tonight at 6:30.
And still ahead, the excitement is brewing across Spokane as the Spokane Velocity are trying to make a history and win the USL Championship, where you can watch the big game right along with your fan friends.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Save your greed! Mannheim Steamroller Christmas by Chip Davis, celebrating the holiday spirit for over 35 years.
November 21st at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets on sale now at BroadwaySpokane.com.
There is a place where magic seems to hide around every corner, where cherished memories are born in twinkling snowflakes, where enchanting adventures await all who explore. Where is this real-life winter wonderland? Nestled by the lake is Coeur d'Alene's Holiday Light Show. Be the first to see our all-new grand floating Christmas tree with holiday getaways starting at only $246.
Whether you're in the market for affordable furniture, clothing, or vintage treasures, you'll find what you need at UGM thrift stores. But checking off your list is not all you'll accomplish. Every purchase and donation opens the doors for men, women, and children experiencing homelessness to get the help they need. Your support provides food and shelter, job training, and holistic recovery services at Union Gospel Mission. Stop in today and offer life change.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value, plus no monthly payments until next year.
Shop Pink Friday deals at Dave Smith.
When it comes to remodeling your bath, there's fact and there's fiction. Fiction, it's too expensive to remodel your bath. Fact, with Bathfitter's hundreds of design options, you'll get the bath you want to fit your budget. Fiction, bath remodels take forever and tear the house apart. Fact, Bathfitter installation takes just 1 day to fit your schedule. Get the bath that fits you. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Mannheim Steamroller Christmas by Chip Davis, celebrating the holiday spirit for over 35 years.
November 21st at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets on sale now at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Fernandez, an inaugural season that just won't end.
The Spokane Velocity's magical playoff run is still alive, courtesy of this penalty kick last Saturday. That goal punched Spokane's ticket to the USL League One Championship slated for this Sunday. And if Spokane wins, they'll be the first team in USL League One history to take home a championship in their inaugural season.
There's a lot of excitement around this team, and we've seen it throughout the city. Jordan Smith met with a few folks eager to catch the game this Sunday. He joins us from Flat Stick Pub, where a massive watch party is scheduled for Sunday, Jordan.
Well, excitement doesn't quite cover it. Here at Flat Stick, they've hosted watch parties all throughout the playoffs. They tell me this Sunday, this place is going to be rowdy. The beers are going to be flowing as the Velocity looks to make history.
Fernandez, an inaugural season that just won't end. Spokane are victorious on the road.
It's the replay we can't stop watching, and local soccer fans still can't believe.
I had a perfect view of it myself, and it was just mayhem in the beer hall.
Didn't get to see it live because I was traveling, but I watched the video of the shootout afterwards, which was better because I don't love watching shootouts live. It makes me nervous.
Allie Haney works at the Velocity team store, which has seen a spike in foot traffic since Spokane's nail-biting victory last Saturday.
A lot more people coming in really excited about the finals and looking forward to the watch party on Sunday.
Allie is one of them, gearing up to cheer on the Velocity alongside a sea of fans decked out in blue and white at Flat Stick Pub downtown.
We've got the whole pub opened up, massive watch party. We'll have it on every TV, and we're just hoping for a big crowd to cheer on the Velocity.
The Velocity season has seen its ups and downs, squeaking into the playoffs after 4 consecutive losses and a draw to close out the regular season. But here in the playoffs,
Gonzalez has done just that.
all bets are off, and Spokane is on a roll.
Steps up, it's saved.
And this Sunday, its fans will band together to watch the finale of the team's improbable championship run, hopeful the boys bring home the hardware against the best team in the league.
And to bring home a championship first season as an expansion team would be unreal. It would be quite an experience for all of us.
But if you want to be a part of the mayhem, Largent says you'll want to get here early. Doors open at 10 a.m. Kickoff is at noon. For 4 News Now, I'm Jordan Smith.
Oh, that is exciting. Well, here is your weekend forecast. We'll be dry for most of the day Saturday, but then a combination of rain and snow turning all to snow moves in Saturday night, but then it's back to rain on Sunday with a high of 44. It looks like a soggy second half of the weekend. I will take you neighborhood by neighborhood over how much snow to expect after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap & Associates.
During our Veterans Day event, save up to $14,500 or 0% APR on a new Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali. There's never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles, and ask about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
What you've done is remarkable.
Now be your partner.
If I invest in this thing is going to catch fire.
Shark Tank, new tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Good thing you're practicing. You need it. Bet you can't guard me. Bet. See, I told you you couldn't guard me. I bet you can't throw the football over the grandstand.
We're 1-1. How do we want to settle this?
We could have had the fans decide. Choose between Wazoo or GU and receive an exclusive Cameras Rewards card with your team's logo. Fans can earn points everywhere they play, dine, and relax, and those points will go toward their chosen team. Here's your chance to rep your team. Visit northernquest.com for details. Go Zag. Go Cougs.
Why do people come to the University of Washington? They come here to find people who will inspire them, move them, change them. They come to solve big problems and prepare for careers where they can make a difference. They come to cheer on their Huskies in the greatest setting in college football. If you want to change the world, this is where you start. For passion, for possibility, be boundless.
During our Veterans Day event, save up to $8,500 off or 3.9% APR on a new Sierra 2500 HD Pro. There's never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles, and ask about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
The SEC on ABC all day. The playoff race heats up Saturday.
First, Texas looks to strengthen its postseason bid against Arkansas.
Anything can happen in these rivalry games.
Then, LSU leaves the Bayou for the Swamp to face Florida.
Two storied programs, both trying to get back to dominance.
And in primetime, it's Tennessee-Georgia with playoff implications on the line.
A critical game for both these teams.
The SEC on ABC, all day Saturday beginning at noon Eastern.
This is Mark Peterson and the 4 News Now Extreme team pouring new concrete in front of the home of one local veteran. While they may not seem like a big deal for most, for former Navyman Jason Eagle, this makes getting in and out of his home a whole lot easier.
Yeah, Jason says he lost his mobility due to a disease he picked up during his 14 years serving our country, and his old sidewalk was in such poor condition he was forced to offload in the street, which can really be a hassle, especially during the winter. Let's send it out now to Mark Peterson to check out the team's hard work.
It's the one-day wonder that's lasted a week, and we're here at the Eagle residence. This all started Monday. Concrete cutters came in and cut this in preparation for a Tuesday rip-out, and then Wednesday was going to be the one day we were here getting all this poured. It didn't work out that way, but we have had it all removed. Lance Pounder Excavation came in and took care of that, and today, Winkler Concrete is getting set for a pour. I have so awaited this. The sidewalk coming to fruition, but I got to tell you, pouring concrete is not as easy as it looks. There is a lot of hands-on work that goes into manipulating this into a flat surface that Jason's going to be able to roll on with some confidence, and he's going to be able to get in and his house safer. We want to thank the Eagles for their patience as we continue to work, but they're very thankful we're here, and, well, we're proud to be a part of it. I'm Mark Peterson, 4 News Now with the Extreme team, finishing the one-day wonder that only took a week.
Hey, better late than never, right? They got it done, and it looks great.
Also, a week is pretty good for all of the things that they were able to accomplish.
Do you think Mark put his handprints in there or wrote a little note? Or
Yes, I do.
I know, how could he resist?
And I guess good thing they got it done, right? Because we've got more rain and possibly snow.
Yes, very good chance of snow. But boy, if you take a long sleep Saturday, go to bed early, it'll be all gone by the time you wake up Sunday. Let's start with our Doppler radar right now, because I am tracking a narrow band of precipitation through southern Spokane County down through parts of Whitman County, and there's a few sprinkles further to the north. This is not going to hold together long, but may interfere with your plans as it moves south if you are heading out tonight. Otherwise, 4 things to know about your weather. Some isolated evening showers. The snow comes in late on Saturday. May start off as a mix of rain and snow at your house, or even rain if you're in the Columbia Basin. That snow turns back to rain on Sunday, and then there are additional chances to see some snow next week, but I don't think it's going to be piling up in most of the valleys. Now, here is just an initial broad view of the snow between now and Sunday morning at 5 a.m. And you can see a lot of the darker blues are in the typical locations, the Northeast Mountains, North Idaho, and the higher terrain around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. But I want to take you down to a much more street level look at this, because it's going to be a big difference depending on your elevation just right in Spokane. From almost an inch out on the West Plains, a ½ inch on the South Hill, even more on Moran Prairie, but right through the Spokane River Valley, looking at just a little bit of snow, and that trend continues through Spokane Valley as well as Liberty Lake and into Post Falls. You don't have to go very far north to Newman Lake to find some more impressive totals, but it really picks up as you head further to the north, where many locations, Loon Lake, Deer Park, Cusick, Newport, Sandpoint, Coquilala, Spirit Lake, all expecting in 2 inches or more, 11 inches of snow at Mount Spokane. Also, 2 inches at Rathdrum, little over a ½ inch in Coeur d'Alene. Winter weather advisories for the area shaded in purple on your screen. It's a winter storm warning for the central panhandle. There's also one for the Cascades, and that is where we're really going to see the big snow over the mountain passes. If you're traveling late Saturday into Sunday, the early part of the day, you are going to encounter some heavy snow and some difficult travel. We are going to do a lot of melting on Sunday as we warm up to a high of 44. Additional chances for snow through the forecast, but with highs in the upper 30s and lower 40s, not much sticking.
All right, Chris, thank you. The U.S. gets a D+ for maternal and infant health with high preterm birth rates and rising care gaps.
Why racial disparities and maternity deserts are a growing concern. Coming up next on 4 News Now at 6.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
They can make cleaning up a breeze. Disinfecting wipes are ready to use and can kill germs fast, but are they doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to your kids? Learn the risks and what you can use instead. That's Monday on Good Morning Northwest.
Santa returns to River Park Square on Saturday, November 23rd, presented by STCU. Festivities begin at 3 o'clock, and Santa arrives to light the tree at 5, with special guest appearances by the Ferris Dance Team, Cheney High School Choir, the wonderful Mrs. Claus, and so much more. Visit riverparksquare.com to plan your Holly Jolly holiday season and to reserve your time for Santa photos. Enjoy the magic of the season at River Park Square.
This November, stay for less and play for more at the Kootenai Casino. It's time for an autumn getaway. Now is the perfect opportunity to come stay and win. Call us now to book your room starting at just $79 midweek and $99 weekends at the beautiful Kootenai Falls Lodge. And join us for a $10,000 giveaway, Tournament Tuesdays, and November Hot Spins. Put some extra stuffing in your pockets this November, only at the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
This holiday season, believe in the magic of the North Pole. As you set sail for a holiday adventure like no other, marvel over the stunning light display along the magical journey to meet Santa. Experience the magic that only happens on Lake Coeur d'Alene. Even the Grinch can't resist the holiday cheer. Book during Santa's Sneak Peek Week and enjoy 25% off tickets from November 15th to November 27th and discover the magic of the holiday season.
Nice going, Lou. Nothing like a little confidence boost to help ease you back into the dating scene. Of course, that also includes having a smile you feel good about. Fortunately, Aspen Dental specializes in dental implants made to last a lifetime. And with affordable options and flexible ways to pay, you can get quality work for a price that fits your budget. Right now, get 25% off. Helping our patients put their best smile forward. It's one more way Aspen Dental is in your corner.
Hard water damage makes it hard to keep your home looking picture perfect. Culligan softeners reduce buildup and cleaning time, transforming your water into the fine art of a long-lasting clean. Culligan, water you love.
4 News Now is brought to you by Ability Employment Services.
Well, this Sunday is World Prematurity Day, a time to raise awareness about the dangerous and even deadly health consequences of premature birth.
In the U.S., preterm birth is a leading cause of infant deaths, and new data shows the country has a long way to go to protect women and their babies. CNN's Mandy Gaither looks at the numbers and explains why experts believe U.S. infants are dying at high rates.
She passed. For the 3rd year in a row, the U.S. gets a D+ grade from the March of Dimes annual report on maternal and infant health for its high preterm birth rate.
Mothers and babies deserve better.
For every 1,000 babies born in 2023, about 6 died, according to provisional CDC data. That death rate is the same as the year before, and the March of Dimes report finds the rate of preterm births remained at 10.4% last year. Those are babies born before 37 weeks gestation, again unchanged from the previous year.
So it's remaining at historically high levels.
Dr. Amanda Williams says racial disparities also persist. For Black people, the preterm birth rate is 1.5 times higher than the rate among all other babies. The March of Dimes report says certain risk factors are contributing to the high overall preterm birth rates. First, the number of people who have chronic conditions during pregnancy and inadequate prenatal care.
A third of all counties in the United States are maternity care deserts. And that means that there is no prenatal care provider, no obstetrician, no midwife, no family practice doc who does OB, and no maternity unit.
Williams says identifying high-risk pregnant people and improving access to care are keys to reversing the high preterm birth trend.
We have to think about how can we keep our hospitals open and how can we make sure that we have providers who can take good care of patients.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, mother in Georgia is now facing charges because her 10-year-old son walked into town by himself.
Yeah, that mom saying he never was in any danger. Why police disagree, coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Shop Consigned Furniture and Jewelry's Veterans Day sale now. Save up to 70% off all consigned, one-of-a-kind pieces throughout the store. Veterans and active duty receive an additional 20% off.
Consigned Furniture. Easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
He's one of the toughest players in the NFL. But then, when a cancer diagnosis shook his world, Dylan Horton showed everybody the meaning of true toughness.
Can you describe what those emotions were as you returned to play?
Monday, the emotional exclusive on GMA.
Elegance, style, quality, custom made for your project. Agalite shower doors and bath enclosures by River City Glass are designed for a lifetime of use. Timeless beauty that speaks for itself with superior quality and exceptional value. Offering exquisite custom wine room enclosures and office room glass, specializing in custom mirrors crafted to fit your space. Producing high-performance glass for every project, residential and commercial. River City Glass.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. See your local GMC dealer.
There is a place where magic seems to hide around every corner, where cherished memories are born in twinkling snowflakes, where enchanting adventures await all who explore. Where is this real-life winter wonderland? Nestled by the lake is Coeur d'Alene's Holiday Light Show. Be the first to see our all-new grand floating Christmas tree, with holiday getaways starting at only $246.
Bounce from one doctor to the next. Does it have to be like this?
At Kaiser Permanente, we have a different kind of health care.
So, how did you like that?
Where all of us work together for all that is you.
Shop Consigned Furniture and Jewelry's Veterans Day sale now. Save up to 70% off all consigned, one-of-a-kind pieces throughout the store. Veterans and active duty receive an additional 20% off.
Consigned Furniture. Easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
A celebration of life today at Life Center Church in West Spokane. Hundreds turned out to honor a man who spent his life working to make the Lilac City a better place for everyone to live. Percy Happy Watkins passed away on October 25th, leaving behind a legacy of advocacy for the underprivileged. 4 News Now talked with Watkins many times over the years, a man filled with compassion and hope. He could use humor to put people at ease.
Doctor says, Happy, you got to cut down on your coffee and your caffeine. Well, I thought about it. Prayed that night. Got up in the morning, read through the yellow pages, and got me another doctor.
Law enforcement's commitment to...
As the Reverend at New Hope Baptist Church, he helped people see the light. and his work for the black community was not always welcomed.
In 2011, he was the intended target of a bomb planted along the Martin Luther King Jr. parade route. The parade Watkins helped found. Police intercepted the bomb before it went off. When the bomber was caught and struck a plea deal, was gracious but stood strong for the community.
Satisfied of this conviction, and hopefully that it will send a message to people who are on the other side of the law, who view people differently. This will make a statement.
Reverend Watkins made a difference in many people's lives and made a difference for Spokane. He once told one of our reporters that hope is the greatest gift we can pass on to the next generation.
And he helped keep the dream of Martin Luther King Jr. alive for more than 50 years. Derek Strom shows us how people are working to keep Watkins' memory alive now.
Kirsten, Derek, Reverend Watkins was the pastor here at New Hope Baptist Church for 30 years. Many of the people at today's service remembered him for the work that he did through the church, but his legacy extends far beyond this building.
I tell you what will lift this family right now. If you'll take your right hand and your left hand and give God the best praise you've given him all November.
Hundreds of people gathered to celebrate the life and legacy of Happy Watkins, who spent decades as an activist and advocate in Spokane. Fellow pastors, community leaders, and even Mayor Lisa Brown gave their thanks to Reverend Watkins for everything he gave to the Spokane community.
He led with moral authority, and that's really important. He led with integrity and moral authority. His grace, his warmth, all of that mattered.
Reverend Watkins is probably best known for his work as a civil rights activist and co-founding the annual MLK March. NAACP President Lisa Gardner and MLK Center Executive Director Frida Gandy both thanked Happy for his mentorship.
And so I'm proud to say that I'm a child of the community. I'm a child of the community of the late Ivan Bush. And I'm a child of the community of a late Reverend Percy Happy Watkins.
Former Spokane Public Schools Superintendent Gary Livingston and Gonzaga Prep President Michael Doherty thanked Happy for the impact he made on education in the community. Reverend Watkins has dozens of scholarships in his name at Gonzaga Prep, and he was part of its executive board. Reverend Watkins' example of leadership will be carried on through the many lives and organizations he was a part of. He was also inducted into the Spokane Citizens Hall of Fame. Live in Spokane Valley, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
What a legacy. Well, the snow arrives this weekend, whether you like it or not, Derek.
But how much are we expected to get? Let's send it over to Chris Crocker now to find out.
Well, most likely less than an inch right here in Spokane. Coming up later this half hour, I'll go through greater detail of what you can expect in your neighborhood. But right now, we have got some wet weather in progress in the form of rain south of Spokane along 95 and even on I-90 around the Sprague area. This area of precipitation is moving off to the south, and once it clears, we are going to be staying dry overnight and through most of the day on Saturday. When the wet weather returns, it will return in a different form. Here is your hour-by-hour forecast for Saturday. 29 degrees at 8 o'clock after a morning low of 26. We'll be in the mid-30s by 11 a.m. with the potential for some sunshine. I think you'll encounter some patchy fog if you're up early as well. 39 is where our temperature peaks at 1 a.m. We start to bring in a slight chance of a sprinkle or flurry by around 2. By 4 o'clock, we have a pretty good chance to see some light snow, but that's really going to start picking up as we get into the evening. I will be back with how much to expect where you live in just a few minutes. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. Well, these 3 Spokane County deputies will not face any charges for shooting and killing a suspected child rapist in Deer Park earlier this year. That is according to the county prosecutor's office. The shooting happened back in March when deputies went to the home of Donald Hagel. He was wanted for child rape and molestation charges out of Stevens County. Eventually, an hours-long standoff occurred, during which Hagel repeatedly told law enforcement to, quote, "Shoot me." SWAT then entered his home, where Hegel was armed with a replica firearm, and that is when the 3 deputies opened fire, killing Hegel. The prosecutor's office says the deputies were justified in their use of deadly force.
Well, that is the sound of buffaloes being released onto the Colville Reservation. The animal holds a strong significance to the indigenous community, and in recent years, Upper Columbia tribes have been making an effort to restore the buffalo population in this area. To continue these preservation efforts, the Kalispel gifted 10 buffaloes to the Colville Confederation of Tribes on November 5th, following their gift of 33 last year.
Somebody needs to speak for them. And that's our responsibility, not just with the animals, but with the land.
Now, both tribes expressed a strong honor for these animals that represent resilience and sustenance to them. You can catch the exclusive look 4 News Now, God of the New Herd, on the Colville Reservation tomorrow on a special edition of 4 News Now, following ABC's college football coverage.
Around the nation, a Georgia mother is facing jail time because her 10-year-old son walked into town by himself.
She says she was annoyed he didn't tell her where he was going. He says he was never in danger, but officers disagree. ABC's Andrea Fujii explains.
Police body camera video shows the moment Brittany Patterson was arrested for letting her 10-year-old son walk into town by himself.
What am I under arrest for?
For reckless endangerment.
And how was I recklessly endangering my child?
We're not talking about it.
On October 30th, Patterson said she took one of her children to the doctor. In the meantime, her son, Soren, who since turned 11, decided to walk less than a mile into town from their home in rural Mineral Bluff, Georgia. While out, Patterson got a call from the sheriff's department, worried that Soren was walking alone.
I wasn't concerned. I wasn't, panicking or concerned because it's just a short walk from our house. He knows how to get home. He knows how to get there.
Authorities dropped Soren off at home, and 5 hours later, they returned.
Call mommy and tell them they're taking you to jail because you decided to walk down the street.
Let go of your hands. That's not his fault.
Yeah, call mommy.
You're the mother. That's your responsibility.
Last time I checked, it wasn't illegal for a kid to walk to the store. So.
It is when they're 10 years old.
Patterson was booked on suspicion of reckless conduct, a charge that could carry 1 year in jail. The warrant claiming she willingly and knowingly did endanger the bodily safety of her juvenile son.
Our criminal justice system is built on the fact that you did something or you were negligent. You did something criminally negligent. So what is it she did?
Authorities have offered to drop the charge if Patterson signs a safety plan that includes the use of a GPS tracker on her son's phone. But she refuses to sign it or admit doing anything wrong.
I just felt like I couldn't sign that, and that in doing so would be agreeing that there was something unsafe about my home or something unsafe about my parental decisions, and I just don't believe that.
Brittany Patterson is out on bail, awaiting to see if prosecutors will indict her on the reckless conduct charge. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
It's a really interesting story, isn't it?
I know, a lot of people sounding off on social media on that one.
So.
Well, Gonzaga men's basketball returns to the hardwood tonight after a 2-0 start.
Yep, and they have their first-time opponent in just their 3rd game of the season, right, Jack?
Yes, the UMass Lowell Riverhawks are in town fiending for an upset, but those Zags are on quite the roll. Now, we're going to take a preview on how the Bulldogs will look to keep their unbeaten streak against America East teams alive in their first Friday night hoops battle this year.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by UFCW Local 3000.
Here in Washington, we love the word and, like socks and sandals, flannels and beanies, wheat fields and mountains. And now with FundHub WA, saving money and helping the climate. Find grants to bring resources and funds to your community. Get incentives to grow your business and transition to clean energy. And discover rebates that will save you money at home and on the go and reduce emissions. Find funding opportunities today at fundhub.wa.gov.
When you have moderate to severe eczema, it's okay to show off. With Dupixent, show off your clearer skin and less itch. Because you have plenty of reasons to show off your skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, you can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
I think it's important for us as tribal people to educate and inform others as to who we are and what we're about. We have a beautiful culture that we respect our lands, we respect our waters.
Our medical center serves Indian and non-Indian. We were the first one in the nation to do that.
We built the $25 million core center for the children.
We also house the Boys and Girls Club out of there.
Our employees here are friendly. It gives you that welcome home feeling.
Next ET, James Vanderbeek, after announcing his stage 3 cancer battle. Plus, our exclusives with the cast of The Flip-Off and only ETs on the Vancouver set of Fire Country.
Next, watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
They can make cleaning up a breeze. Disinfecting wipes are ready to use and can kill germs fast, but are they doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to your kids? Learn the risks and what you can use instead. That's Monday on Good Morning Northwest.
Now, it's been a couple weeks, but we'll give you all a quick recap so far. Gonzaga men's basketball rolled over the Baylor Bears and roared back to a strong finish against Arizona State to start their season 2-0, a familiar record for Zags fans after 2 games. But tonight presents another new opponent and one not to be taken too lightly. The Riverhawks of the America East Conference, that's UMass Lowell, finished second in the 2023-24 regular season, and they fell by 5 to the top-seeded Vermont Catamounts in the tournament championship game, just barely missing the big dance. Last season's America East Sixth Man of the Year, Quentin Mency, leads the way for the Riverhawks, already at 47 total points through just 2 games. Gonzaga's strong defense will need another big performance after allowing 80 by Arizona State last game. A win tonight, continuing their perfection against the America East to 6-0 all time. Now, tip-offs for tonight's game was about 45 minutes ago, and I know I wrote all that nice stuff talking about UMass Lowell, but the score is 41-17 Zags in the first half. But our sports reporter, Sydney Berger, will bring us highlights and post-game sound on 4 News Now Nightside. Washington State men's hoop is on the road tonight. They travel to the Hawkeye State to face Iowa in the Quad Cities Hoops Showdown. First time in 26 years, Iowa is playing out of Iowa City and in Davenport, and the first time ever for the Cougs. Now, the current score is 36-33 at halftime. Wazoo in front. Well, full game highlights on 4 News Now Nightside. Starting off our Idaho high school football playoff coverage tonight, we have 2 local teams battling out for the final state championship spot in the 2A bracket. It's the Kendrick Tigers and Logos Knights with a score of just 6-6 in the first quarter. But how about this? Logos knocked off the 3-time defending state champs in Kendrick, their 1 regular season meeting. That was a few weeks ago, 30-18, ending a 31-game winning streak for Kendrick. We'll have the final score update on Nightside. Continuing our Gem State coverage, the Lakeland Hawks are just minutes from kickoff down near Boise at Hillcrest High. The Hawks last won a state title in 1988, and if they win, they will play the winner of Skyline and Minico. Skyline, the winners of the last couple state titles. We'll have highlights coming up at 11. And our last local Idaho team is still alive. Coeur d'Alene Vikings in a 2023 semifinal rematch with the Eagle Mustangs. Just a season ago, the Vikings won in a razor-thin 7-6 game before falling in the state title game to the Highland Rams. Unfortunately for Coeur d'Alene, Highland didn't make it past the play-in round this year, and if the Vikes would win, they play the winner of Rocky Mountain and Rigby. Kickoff for this one also at 7 p.m. We'll grab those highlights and get them in our Nightside show as well. And our final preview tonight, and a whole slew of preview, including the Spokane Chiefs next door at Spokane Arena, their first game in just under a week. Now, Spokane won back-to-back home games heading into this battle with the Calgary Hitmen, and tonight's game is their only meeting of the season. Puck drop is this evening at 7:05.
When I see the Chiefs fans filling up the parking lot across the street, they'll be staying dry on their way home tonight, but Tomorrow night's another story. We have got snow on the way. Could start as early as late afternoon. More likely it'll hold off until the evening. A high Saturday of 39 degrees. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Nothing comes close to this place in the morning. I'm so glad I can still come here. You see, I was diagnosed with obstructive HCM, and there were some days I was so short of breath, I thought I'd have to settle for never stepping foot on this trail again. I became great at making excuses, but I have people who count on me, so I talked to my cardiologist. I said there must be more we can do for my symptoms. He told me about a medication called Camzyos. He said Camzyos works by targeting what's causing my obstructive HCM, so he prescribed it, and I'm really glad he did.
Camzyos is used to treat adults with symptomatic obstructive HCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and your ability to be active. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased if you develop a serious infection or irregular heartbeat or when taking certain other medicines. So do not stop, start, or change medicines or the dose without telling your healthcare provider. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help if you experience new or worsening symptoms of heart failure. Because of this risk, Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all of your medical conditions, including current or planned pregnancy.
Today with Camzyos, I don't lose my breath as often. My symptoms have improved, helping me go from expecting less to experiencing more. My name is Mike, and this is my Camzyos moment. Call your cardiologist today and see if a Camzyos moment may be in your future too.
I think what propelled Holiday the most was my son Chris. He went to college to become a mechanical engineer, and on my 60th birthday, he says, "Dad, I'd like to come to work for you."
Grandpa Doc was staying at our house. I'd love to come work with my dad. I don't really know how to approach him. And Grandpa Doc, with a weird look on his face, and he just said, "Have you ever asked him?" Did end up asking. I think everyone started crying, like the true Holiday way.
It was so amazing, and when Chris came on, all the things that I wanted done were getting done, and he was doing it. Just his go attitude toward it. And so he quit his engineering to come to work for me, and now it's him taking over. And I'm very proud of where it's gone and how it's gotten there.
Every day is still tough, but still have a good, successful business with a bunch of great employees. And it tells us we're doing something right.
I'm blessed. Thank you. Yeah, that was the propel.
Interesting weekend weather. Most of the excitement in terms of snow down in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene is going to happen overnight Saturday into the very early morning hours of Sunday. And then Sunday, it's all rain, and we could see a fair amount of it, 44 degrees for a high temperature. Tracking our weather pattern, the last of a few showers coming to an end later this evening. We are dry overnight and dry through most of the day Saturday. Here's 5 o'clock Saturday with the wet weather through the Columbia Basin, the Northeast Mountains, moving into the Spokane area. May initially start off as a little bit of rain, but it will not stay as rain long, turning to snow. But then by 8 o'clock Sunday, actually well before, it will be all rain in the valleys from Spokane and Coeur d'Alene and points to the south, and it will transition to rain even in the northern valleys. Cold front comes through Sunday evening, and that should bring an end to the deluge, and then we'll be left with just a few hit and miss showers behind it. But you will notice the snow is going to continue in the Cascades. Snowfall totals by Sunday morning will be a little bit of a work in progress because we may already have melted some of these totals by the time most folks are up and about. But this is how much will pile up initially. In general, less than an inch around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, all the way through Spokane Valley. We'll see some higher totals. You don't have to go up very high to find some higher totals. Rathdrum Prairie, 2.1. Bennett Bay looking at almost a half inch and a little over a half inch in Coeur d'Alene. The higher totals are going to be further to the north and higher in elevation, including 11 inches at Mount Spokane. winter weather advisory for the area shaded in purple on your screen. That does not include Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. The pink shaded area is a winter storm warning, and that's where we're really going to see the snow pile up. Difficult travel over the passes in either direction this weekend. We are looking at 2 feet of snow at Stevens Pass, 1.5 feet at Snoqualmie, potentially, as well as Lookout Pass. Up to a 1/2 inch of snow is possible over the 4th of July pass. Your planning forecast: rain on Sunday, back to a little bit of snow on Monday, and then wet weather off and on through the forecast. But I don't think we're going to be shoveling, even if we do see some snow, with highs way up in the 40s.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, one of the best parts of living in the inland Northwest, of course, is packing a bag and hitting one of the hundreds of hiking trails in our area, even in the wintertime.
In this week's Air 4 adventure, we're soaring above one of the most popular spots at Riverside State Park. Let's go for a ride now on the Air 4 drone over the Bowl and Pitcher.
Welcome to Bowl and Pitcher and the Riverside State Park. It is a geological formation that came about after the Ice Age floods that carved out a lot of this basalt in this river valley. On about 1910, when we started getting settlers here, they saw it and they thought it looked like a bowl and pitcher, like an old school ewer and bowl. Eddy of water that swirls, and you can see it now because the water's kind of rising with the rain we've had recently, and that's what they thought it looked like, and the name stuck. It's a gorgeous part of the park. It's one of the most popular. Swinging Bridge is a big draw all year round. It was built in 1942, and it's been a big attraction. It goes over the most gorgeous part of this canyon in our park. Campground, it's open year round. Some people like to tough it out.
Winter camping. I think we need to spend more time out in nature, so this is my way of getting out. One of those state parks that doesn't tend to snow that much. There's a little bit of snow, so other than that, it's close to family.
The Bowl and Pitcher has day use areas. There's picnic tables. There's also hiking. If you cross over the Swinging Bridge, you connect up here to the Centennial Trail. And then all the other hiking trails, we have miles and miles of hiking trails. If we get snow, some people like to snowshoe. If we get enough snow on the Centennial, we don't plow it, so some people like to cross-country ski too. Most cities don't have such a big state park right on their doorstep, and we're 5 minutes from downtown Spokane.
We live in such a beautiful place. Before we go to break, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
The Advocates are a team of dedicated
personal injury lawyers who
are prepared to go to trial.
So getting the maximum recovery amount
is the reason we never back down.
So when you're injured,
call the Advocates.
Wow. It's like we finish
each other's sentences.
Over 20 million fans have made Trans-Siberian Orchestra their holiday tradition. Bring the whole family and make it part of yours. The Lost Christmas Eve live in concert. Friday, November 22nd, Spokane Arena. Tickets on sale now at ticketswest.com. The return of Trans-Siberian Orchestras. The Lost Christmas Eve. Produced by Live Nation.
Hot tubs, hot tubs, hot tubs. The Hot Tub Swim Spa Expo is at all 4 Pool World locations this weekend only. Hundreds of hot tubs from the world's leading brands like Hot Spring Hot Tubs, all discounted. Hot tubs as low as $79 a month. 0% financing, save thousands. Swim spas up to $10,000 off. Saunas as low as $79 a month. Hot tubs, swim spas, and saunas up to 40% off. Come save thousands this weekend at all 4 Pool World locations. HotTubExpoSpokane.com.
These are real people seeking solutions to real pain.
I have plantar fasciitis.
My feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports. Clinically proven. Significant pain relief in only 4 weeks.
I'm not feeling any pain. My heel, that's where I always feel it.
Pressure off your knees?
Yeah, actually. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Take back the life you love and book your personalized arch support fitting today.
Life is an opportunity,
to grow, to feel, to excel. Life moves at its own pace, daring you to keep up. Life pushes you to be better and to go farther. Life has you here. We're just here to help.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I'm a lawyer.
I'm Donnie, and I'm not, but I am an advocate.
So am I.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
Seriously injured? You deserve justice. You deserve an advocate.
That's us.
All of us.
Most of Saturday is going to be dry. The snow comes in late. It's not going to stick around for long. If you sleep in Sunday, you're going to miss everything, unless you happen to live at the higher elevations.
But then later on, no escaping it, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
We're
So
all
be
bracing
ready.
ourselves.
I know, I'm really starting to think about snow preparation now.
Yep.
Time.
Thanks for being with us.
Live stream